Hey, cuz, how you doing? How you doing? Girl, let me tell you, I'm trying to go live on Instagram on my other account, and the devil busy. Anyway, we gonna get to it, okay? How you doing today? Happy Friday, happy Venus Day. Let me get the energy set for the message. So what I'm going to do is, instead of, I can't go on Instagram live right now. I'm on Facebook on one device, and my Instagram on the other device is acting up. So what I'll do is, after I'm done with the video here, hi Susan, how you doing? After I'm done with the video here, I will upload it to YouTube, and then I'll copy the address or whatever to Instagram so people can catch that. But nonetheless, I'm just clearing the energy, the space around the messenger and the message and those who will be receiving the message, okay? Spirit guides, guardian angels, ancestors, ancient wisdom, ancient DNA, universal energies, most high, the divine source. I ask that you please protect my space and protect the space of those who are watching and the message that I am about to deliver. All these things I ask in your name, most high. As above, so below, as within, so without. So mote it be. Ashe. Okay. I debated and debated. Girl, I'm grounded, okay? I had to take all my stones out of my brassiere today because I was at work, and I was like, you know what? I'm about to walk, okay? And I'm like, let me keep myself grounded and keep my energy intact, because just certain things, boy, I'll be like ready to pounce. Anyway. Basically, what I'm going to talk about today is the return of the ancestors, the planetary shifts, the power, and the Black liberation in the age of fire. That is what we all are experiencing. So as you come in, I want to welcome you, okay? My name is Malik from Malik's Mystical Magic and Intuitive Consultations. I am an astrologer, a tarot reader, a numerologist, a spiritual healer, and a spiritual teacher, okay? For those that want to know my credentials, I am a Libra Sun, Virgo Moon, and Libra Rising, North Node in Capricorn, Life Path 7, okay? So if you do your deets on that, then you'll understand why I am deeply rooted into the craft that I exert. Okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and give it a few more minutes, cuz 2 more minutes, and then I'm getting started. It's getting crazy out there in them streets, okay? That is why it's so important. That's why it's so important that we have this discussion and I get this message out, because this is literally energy that is unfolding, okay? And the more we are aware, the better that we can prepare, okay? So 1 more minute. And what I'm listening to in the background, for those who are interested, it is the all 7 chakra healing music, which is a 528 Hz frequency that removes negative energy, clears the aura, and improves the body, okay? So for those who are interested, this is a nice little tone that you can actually go to sleep with, and it can keep you, woo, yes, baby. This 7 chakra healing vibration music is something that you can play throughout your sleep that'll help your body remove negative energy, clears your aura, and improves the body's functioning. Okay, we need to unlock all 7 of these chakras. We have more, but the 7 most primal, from the crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, sacral, and the root chakra. Okay, I think I got them all. Okay, anyway, so let's get into it. Okay, let's go ahead. Yeah, 17. So let me get into it. So basically, hold on. Thank you. Stop the music. Okay, so I've been doing my research, right? And not only have I been doing my research, I have also been paying attention to everything that's going on. It is a lot that's going on, but I think when I approach it this way, hopefully this will give us some better insight as to the bigger picture that's going on. There are a lot of distractions that are occurring, so we have to stay vigilant. We have to stay focused. If there is any time in our life where that energy is needed, it is right now, okay? And so let's go ahead and unpack this. We're entering a time of spiritual war, ancestral reawakening, and collective reckoning, okay? The planets are not just shifting, okay? They are also speaking. Now, this is not my normal astrology presentation that I drop on every new astrological event or lunation, new moon, full moon. No, this is literally a survival map. So I would literally take it as that. Okay. So why you say this matters? Okay. Well, Neptune entered into Aries in 2025, just a few weeks ago or a month ago, not too long ago, for the first time since the U.S. Civil War. Okay? Now, Neptune is a generational planet. It also, I'll describe each planet by in a moment, but Neptune is major because it takes about 248 years for Neptune to transit the entire astrological wheel, all 12 zodiac signs. So it takes a long time for Neptune to move. We won't see Neptune move into Taurus. We will not be alive in the flesh when Neptune moves into Taurus. So this is major, okay? In addition, Saturn will follow. Saturn is in Pisces at its last degrees, which things are tense right now, okay? A government is, all of that stuff plays in. But nonetheless, that shift with Saturn going into Aries is going to literally be enforcing karmic consequences, okay? Then, we all know we have Pluto in Aquarius. I really, really encourage each and every one of you, if you have not checked out my All Things Aquarius video on YouTube, you need to do that because this ties into that in a more collective approach, but it's still relevant to what we're talking about right now. And so while Pluto is in Aquarius, it's demanding revolution and systematic overhaul, okay? And then we have Uranus. Uranus is currently in Taurus right now, shaking the earth up, shaking the finances up, shaking value systems, banks, and things like that, Taurus-related things. Now, Uranus will also be shifting into Gemini soon. And that's going to be triggering some disruption when it comes to media, speech, and the mental control. Okay? Now, they're trying to put them chains back on them brains so we won't get unraveled from the matrix, right? Understand? It's not going to work. Okay? Now, we also need to keep in mind that the USA is in its Pluto's return. And when that happens, that is meaning that the natal chart for the United States was erected 1776, okay? Pluto was in Capricorn during that time. Well, Pluto just left Capricorn, which means that the United States has experienced their first Pluto's return. Okay, that is very profound because that is about empires that rarely survive this. So basically the fall of an empire. Okay, so we think back on the fall of Rome, that type of energy, but in a more modern way. Okay, so that is why these planets are major, significant, generational, and are definitely for the collective. So this is a collective message. Okay, so now when it comes to planetary shifts, zodiac descriptions, I'm just going to give us a little tutorial on what we're talking about. Okay, you might have to watch this video a few times. I recommend you save it, share it, because it is a survival map for us. Okay, now Saturn is in Pisces. Saturn is going into Aries, okay? But Saturn represents boundaries, limitation, structure, discipline, commitment, and time. And so it brings maturation through responsibility and accountability, okay? Then we have Neptune. What is the energy Neptune brings? Well, Neptune is the ruler of dreams, illusions, spirituality, collective consciousness, and deception, okay? It also dissolves boundaries and invites spiritual evolution. Now, Pluto. What is Pluto about? What does the energy bring when Pluto is coming around? Well, Pluto governs death, rebirth, transformation, and power dynamics. And Pluto uncovers the hidden truths and initiates the systematic change. We're seeing that. The systems are breaking down, okay? The power dynamics are at an all-time high as the earth and we as individuals and the systems and the institutions are going through a transformation, okay? In order for something to be born, it has to die to be reborn, okay? So just keep that in mind. Now, Aries, let's talk about Aries. With Saturn in going into Aries, with Neptune going into Aries. Aries is that cardinal energy modality, so it's initiative, okay? It's a fire sign, and literally it's about energetic, forceful, independent, self-starting, passionate, and it's associated with action and initiation, okay? And then we have Aquarius. Pluto is in Aquarius, so that is a fixed air sign. Fixed is a modality of sustained energy, stubborn, persistent is the fixed energy, okay? And so when we look at the Aquarius, okay, that is visionary, revolutionary, intellectual, okay? And so Aquarius energy focuses on community, freedom, and technological progress. Now, I did miss a planet, Uranus. Okay, Uranus is the ruler for Aquarius, but Uranus right now is in Taurus, and Uranus will be going into Gemini. But the energy that Uranus brings is rebellion, okay, sudden change, innovation, and awakening, okay, and it rules electricity, technology, and liberation, okay. So we have the Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, Uranus energies out the way. We have the Aries, the Aquarius energy out of the way. Now let's talk about Gemini, because this energy is going into Gemini, okay? Jupiter is in Gemini right now, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. My brain be everywhere. Jupiter right now. Yeah, Jupiter is in Gemini right now. Okay, so Jupiter will be going into Taurus, not anytime soon. But anyway, Gemini is a mutable air sign, okay? So mutable is a modality that is an adaptable modality. It's one where you have to adapt, okay? So that's the mode of modality there. So we have cardinal, okay? Cardinal energy, which the cardinal signs are Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn. Then we have the fixed signs, which is the Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, Taurus. Then we have the mutable signs, which is Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, and Virgo. Okay, so we've covered all 12 zodiacs with those 3 modalities. Now, the Gemini energy, okay, it's communicative, curious, dualistic, and it governs language, media, and intellectual agility. Okay, then we have Taurus. Taurus, that's a fixed earth sign. It's grounded, patient, stabilizing. It rules resources, land, body, and security. Okay, so now that we have a little, education on the planets and the zodiacs, then hopefully that'll help us flow through the rest of the message here. So the ancestral energies are rising. Okay, Neptune is in Aries. What that means is ancestral memory activated through fire. So our DNA is being rewired, reawakening, and being activated. Okay? Black, indigenous, and displaced ancestral lineages are rising with purpose right now. Look at your news. Okay? 2 examples to show that, actually, let me use 4 examples that I know that the ancestors are here, the ancestors are not playing, and the karmic season has come for this country, okay? Because it was built on lies. It was built on deceit, the erasure of civilizations, how they colonized us, okay? Spirit, our ancestors didn't forget that. It's through us that they're being revenerated as well, okay? So I really want us to make sure that we understand 4 things that just triggered me to let me know that we're in that energy. Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance, okay, broke down the corporate structure system, okay? If you can unpack that, good. The next thing that was impactful was the movie Sinners, as it went back to Clarksdale, Mississippi, 1932, to discuss the Nigerians, the Irish, the Asians, and the colored, okay? Powerful ancestral message there. That's what I knew. The ancestors is here, okay? Now, last year, major plantation that I visited a few times ago, the Butler Plantation. This was also the plantation at the coast of the Savannah, okay? And so ships would come in with slaves to be sold right there. That particular plantation, the Butler Plantation, is very historical, okay? Because that was the largest sale of slaves to date. That was 429 slaves that were sold from that particular plantation. Well, I visited twice there, right? The first time it was blocked, no trespassing. The second time there was opening where it was being renovated for potential opening as a museum or something. So I was very excited to see that. Not long after that, someone put a torch to it. It burned to the ground. So it is not there. The history is not there. And at first I thought, okay, this is so sad, because I've been visiting plantations for years. So I have a lot of ancestors that follow me, not only my bloodline, but those who I've walked on the soil of their sorrow on these plantations. They follow me too, okay? So my mission is bigger than just my mission. It is a collective mission. Okay, so then we hear about the antebellum plantation that blew up, or that they caught on fire. Okay, with all the fire trucks that tried to put it out, they couldn't put, or they did successfully put it out, but then the wind came, ignited it again, and burned it to the ground. they had services there. I mean, they were offering spa services and things of that nature. The ancestors, in my opinion, now I'm, not here to argue. We can have a healthy debate. I'm open with that. But in my opinion, in my inner knowing, and what I'm receiving from my ancestors, that was a sign. And then we had the Confederate Museum. A big tree just fell on top of that. Okay, so if we are not paying attention to all of these events that are happening and we're wondering what the hell is going on, the ancestors are coming through. Okay, the memory of them is being activated. They're coming back. So we could expect dreams, visions, and spiritual downloads that will become more frequent and symbolic. I just listed some symbolic things. Okay. Altars are important. It is very important for us to tap into our ancestors right now. Now, I want to tell you something. Even though the body has perished, the soul hasn't. Energy never dies. So the energy is here, okay? So if you have a loved one that you miss, honor them. Make pictures of them. Create an altar. Gift them water, whiskey, tobacco, whatever favorite things they used to like. Honor your ancestors. It is time for you to tap into your spiritual, ancestral altar work. Okay? If I can't stress that no more than what I can, I really don't know. Now, if you can look real quick, there is a picture right there. Okay? That picture comes from Birmingham, Alabama. The walk of slaves. These are mason jars, a gallery of mason jars where black people were lynched. So this was the soil put in the mason jars for each human soul that was lynched all across the United States. This museum is in Birmingham, Alabama. So when I tell you I walk with multiple ancestors, that's just a symbol or a picture, okay? So I just wanted to kind of give you a little insight on that. Now, rituals, ritual work, okay? For us, Black, indigenous people, okay, we should already know what that means. If your herbs ain't talking to you, okay, I don't know what you're doing. Get undistracted, okay? I highly recommend a few things really quick because I think it is very important that we get into ritual work. I think it's very important that we start honoring our ancestors and creating our altars and the sacred names that become this acts of revolution that we are experiencing, okay? Now, protection is key right now because Neptune is in Aries, which that is about spiritual warfare. So we all are being seeing people getting attacked. You get on social media, you voice your opinion, somebody coming in and attacking you for having an opinion. I am just tired of it, but that's just the slow rising of what's to come. Now, I'm going to get into why it's important to protect ourselves, but I'm just going to slide a few things that I use, not my whole repertoire, but some things that you can start with to protect your home, your sacred space, okay? Now, if you don't have, and honestly, I wish I was back at home because I would love to go and grab me some of those road bricks, okay? So make your own red brick powder, okay? But if you don't have it, red brick dirt, okay? Get you some red brick dirt, okay? You could put this, the openings, your front door threshold, your back door threshold, okay? Wherever you feel you need protection, you can make you a mojo bag and put these herbs in there for protection. But definitely you want to take advantage of this, okay? Literally, black brick dust, okay? This is an ancient belief in the spiritual powers of natural red powder, okay? You sprinkle a line down across the doorways, and it is said that no one who tries to harm you can cross it, okay? That. Then I personally made my my dragon blood concoction, okay? I got to get into my ingredient list to find out what dragon blood is good, okay? The next thing is black salt. If you have black salt, definitely put that along your doorway opening and the back door, so no energy, evil spirits, or human entities can come through your doorway if they mean you any harm, okay? Y'all probably need to check out that Holy Ghost root, okay? Also, cascarilla powder is crushed hen egg shells, okay? They come in a, let's see, I have multiple of them, so if you need them, let me know. They come in this. This is cascarilla powder, okay? And so, you know, you keep this to protect yourself, especially when I'm doing heavy work, when I'm doing missing people work, crime work. I protect myself, okay? When I'm tapping into a soul that has passed away, that's how I protect myself from the underworld, okay? The next thing is, this is my concoction of just regular eggs that I boiled, crushed them, okay, in the blender, okay? Put me cayenne pepper in here, red brick dirt in here, and cinnamon in here. And I got my little spoon. I make sure that my doorway at the front door of my home, as well as my back door, is aligning. That way nothing comes across my threshold, okay? And I think we have all of that. Okay, so this, I just wanted to touch on a few herbs, and you already know, Virgo, okay, we the kitchen witch, okay? Now, we're going to keep going. The risk of martial law and suppression, okay? Now, with Saturn going into Aries, that is about state violence, suppression, and spiritual warfare. So we may witness military-style policing, emergency laws, spiritual or racial censorship. I'm just curious. Are you sensing a little bit of that energy already? Because I am. I mean, we already there, okay? I wait on you to say something because I know the response to chat is a little delayed. But just curious. Are we not seeing the talk of the military style policing, the ISIS, the people being taken in places, and yeah, we're already seeing that. That is expected to increase because Saturn is at the 29th degree, so it's about to enter into Aries, okay? Now, this is not a fear-monger message, but this is a serious survival map, okay? So I want us to understand that even though this is similar to the Civil War, okay, as far as the shifts and the changes, it may not look like the 1960s tanks, but the algorithmic oppression, the tracking and targeted silencing is what we're going to be experiencing, okay? So I really feel that if we are to step out of the house, make sure we have protection, okay? I'm talking about go get your GET, register your GET, carry your GET, keep your camera on you, keep your protection on you when you leave your house. Now, if you leave state lines, keep your birth certificate on you, your passport on you, as well as your other documents. You leave the country, do the same, okay? Because they want to catch us real quick, okay? They trying to get rid of us. You can't get rid of what was the beginning and will be the end, okay? Anyway, let's keep going. Pluto and Aquarius, okay? My video is out there on YouTube, but let me give you a little bit. Pluto and Aquarius is about systematic overhaul. So we can expect crumbling institutions, where we're seeing that now. AI dominance or rebellion, we're seeing that now. People versus surveillance. Think about that, okay? Digital uprisings. Okay, and then of course this is all in the grand scheme of the age of Aquarius. So this isn't a utopia type of moment unless we make it so. Okay, so if you go back, research about age of Aquarius, the energy that was going on back then. Okay, this is where we are. Okay, now Uranus, when Uranus goes into Gemini, okay, which it will do this year, it will be in Gemini until 2033. When Uranus goes into Gemini, what we can expect is AI voice cloning, deep fakes, and mass information, because Gemini is about communication, media, thoughts, curiosity, technology, modes of communication, right? And so when we get into Jupiter, Jupiter expands that, okay? And so we can definitely expect to see a lot of mass information, okay? Now, also revolutions, in learning, education, and knowledge sharing. Definitely we need to band up. Stop hating on your brethren, because we're going to need that brethren to get through what's going to be coming towards us, okay? So that's important that we know that. The other thing is rise of mind control or freedom of thought. So truth wars, okay, is what we're getting ready to experience, because Gemini rules youth. So I would say expect youth-led technology and justice revolutions that come through the youth, okay? So I see our youth, our young generation they were born into this energy. So they are already on top of it. Now we're older, catching up, okay? So we're there, but we're catching up. Now let's go to the numerology, okay? Now, we already know that we are in the snake, the year of the snake, okay? We already know we are in the year of the snake. In addition, we are in a universal year 9, okay? As a numerologist, 2025 is the year, 2025. You add those numbers up, we come to 9. That is the end of the numerical system. 9 is about endings, karmic closure, the last chapter before rebirth, before we get to 1, okay? And so as a life path 7, for me, this is major, because as a seeker, the spiritual warrior, and the teacher, I need to definitely be very on point with the energy. And I have Uranus and Mercury in my first house. So normally I get downloads before they even downloads. You know what I'm saying? So thank God for that energy. Now, numbers to watch out for as we see synchronicities: 911, 555, 222, 333, 88. Synchronicities that are coming these are spirit messages. So I'm going to call these numbers out again: 911, 555, 222, 333, and 88. If you see those numbers, those are spirit messages, okay? Now, let's go down to the elemental warnings and the weather prophecy, okay? Fire, earth, water, and air. It's all being activated because Earth is going through a transformation. So how is it being affected by Earth? Okay, earthquakes, sinkholes, land revolts. So let's talk about that. St. Louis, to be exact, just went through some sinkholes, right? Before they went through a tornado weather-related incident, right? But they didn't get notified. All those homes that are destroyed, and now they are putting home is uninhabitable, and they're deeming them as demolished, eligible properties. So people are not only asked out with regards to a home, okay, the likelihood of them being able to go back to that area, no, this was a plan, okay? Look at the bigger picture, people. So there we go with the gentrification. And so it begins. Okay, so that's when it comes to earth. Now let's talk about fire. Fire, we're going to be experiencing what we already seeing: wildfires, heat waves. It's about to get hot. Okay, high frequency, high radioactive energy. Okay, definitely keep your EMF protection I got mine on. My EMF protection, stones, bracelets, necklaces. I work around technology all the time, so I always have a EFT tower as well as stones to make sure that it kind of repels this radio frequency that we're experiencing, okay? And then when it comes to water, coastal flooding, emotional cleansing, ancestral water messages. So definitely we need to be mindful of water. Water is going to be very significant as well as we go through these changes, okay? And I'm very close to the coast. I'm not afraid because I know that the divine has me, okay? Now when it comes to air, tornadoes, cyber attacks, breath work, and voice as weapon. So people are cursing each other out. They are really showing their true colors with division, their opinions, and it's getting very brutal in the comment sections on a lot of these threads. And man, it's rugged out here. So I haven't had to block that many people in my life because me making just a simple comment about what I feel about a certain topic or whatever, okay? But people are mad. So this is a part of that. So just be mindful, okay? Now, when it comes to rituals for protection, we're going to look at the fire, the water, the air, and the earth. Fire, you want to burn red, black candles. Speak your power aloud. We talking Aries energy here, okay? So you definitely need you some red or some black candles so you can actually speak into your candles aloud, okay? No quiet, no quiet, no quiet, because Aries energy is about initiation and action. Water, offer water, okay, to your ancestors. Spiritual baths with herbs, okay? Now, if you need help, I am a ritual queen. I am a root worker. I am tapped into when it comes to the elements that are needed to accomplish a certain goal, okay? So if you want to do a spiritual bath with hyssop, lavender, vetiver, or what have you, definitely we're probably gonna be having multiple spiritual baths to get through these times. Rituals for protection, okay? Air, incense, so definitely burn your frankincense, your patchouli, your myrrh, your clover, your vetiver, your deep ancestral ancient scent to ground us, okay? We're gonna need prayer, manifestation. We're gonna need to speak. We're gonna have to have wind whispering, okay? We're gonna need to be talking, speaking, opening our mouths to our ancestors, calling upon them, thanking them, showing gratitude for what we have right now and what is to come, okay? So definitely it's important to exercise rituals for protection. Now, for my church people, okay, I have very heavy church religion in my family. I am not into a specific religion. I don't judge, okay? I respect each and everybody's position, okay? So in saying that, prayer is just like manifesting, okay? The stones in the Bible are these very stones that I hold in my hand, okay? Meditating and sitting in silence and connecting with the earth and to the divine is meditation. So it's a lot of things that the patriarchal man said that you couldn't do in your religion. Okay, I cut the middleman out. I go straight to the source. No disrespect to nobody's religion, but no, thank you. Been there, done that. Okay, so then we're going to talk about earth. Okay, when it comes to rituals for protection, we need to be grounding ourselves as barefoot in the earth. Okay, we need to be carrying obsidian or brick dust. Okay, to stay grounded. Brick dust. Okay, to stay grounded, among other things. But just to give y'all a little insight into the type of things we could start with. Now, let's get into Saturn. Saturn is going to be entering into Aries. Okay, and then it's going to conjunct Neptune. That's the blending of vision and structure. So when Saturn joins Neptune and Aries starting starting May 30th, okay, if I'm not mistaken. I'll put the date in there if I'm wrong. But this is going to bring structure to dreams and a chance to materialize spiritual visions, okay? So this is a good time for us to start our ritual works, tapping into our ancestors' energy, calling upon our loved ones because we need them. We are not our ancestors, but we are what our ancestors prayed for. We need to remember that, okay? So if you're down and out and you don't know why and you're feeling lonely, you're not alone. Call up on your ancestors. Not only do I have an altar set up so eloquently for my ancestors with their picture, and I have a fire burning, a flame burning, earth, water, air, fire for them, money, okay, gifts, candy, food, jewelry, copper, all kinds of things that I gift my ancestors to let them know that I need them. We also have an ancestral wall where it is pictures of our ancestors in one of our rooms in the home with that there. So I'm definitely tapped into my ancestors and definitely went heavy in the paint when it comes to venerating them, okay? Now, we also need to be mindful that this is going to bring structure to dreams and a chance to materialize our spiritual vision. So we need to understand that we may need to expect inner conflict between grounding and surrender. This transit of Neptune and Saturn and Aries conjunct is going to test your faith, your gangster, your imagination, and your identity. Okay? So the more grounded you are to earth, the more able that you're able to see, beyond the veil and through the illusions, okay? Don't get caught in the sauce and lost in idealistic, illusionary, deceptive energies, because these are the very people that the system will take first. Anyway, let's get into Saturn's return in Aries. For those, since we are going into Saturn in Aries, for those who were born with their Saturn in Aries, particularly those born between 1996 and 1999, you're experiencing your first Saturn's return, okay? And so for those, this is your personal rite of passage, okay? This is calling for sovereignty and leadership, self-leadership, because self is Aries, leadership is Saturn, okay? Taking full responsibility for direction and impact, and releasing societal programming and embodying personal power. So I'm so excited to see those youths between the age born between 1996 and 1999, the type of energy that they're going to bring as they experience their first Saturn return. Okay, now let's go into this here. I want to talk about this date because this date is very powerful to me. So the universal date calculation today is May 23rd of 2025. So 5 is May, 23 is the day, and 2025 is the year. So we add all of that up. That brings us to a 19. Okay, you reduce that 19, it is a 10. 1 plus 9 is 10, and you reduce it to a single digit. Drop the 0. There's no value there. And we add 1. Aries. Okay? And so this is a universal day number of 1. And so with the meaning of a numerology day 1 energy, it's about initiation, leadership, independence, fresh starts. So this is a seed planting day in numerology. Okay, what begins today carries long-term energetic ripples. When I move, I'm strategic. I know the day, I know the vibe, I know the energy, I know the numerology, I know how it aligns with my soul purpose, so I know when to move, okay? And in addition to that, this is a great day for setting intentions, launching a project, lighting candles, speaking affirmations, or declaring a new truth. Okay? Not only that, since we're under this Taurus, Gemini cusp energy, okay, astrologically speaking, and with Saturn preparing to enter into Aries, this one day is aligned with bold forward movement, okay? So if you've been feeling that energy, definitely this is what this is about. Now let me break it down. Today is the 23rd. 23 is the royal star of the lion in Chaldean numerology, okay? Now that is a number of protection, charisma, and destiny, okay? The 5th month, May, that is about change. 5 is about change, adaptability, and communication, okay? And then we have 1, which is the day numerology. The whole date breaks down to a 1, and that is about new beginnings and self-focus. And then we have 2025, which is the universal year 9, closure, spiritual relief, and collective karma. Okay? So definitely wanted to make sure that we understand that. So in saying all of that, I think I have everything here. I want us to know that the walk, okay? First of all, I think we need to understand that we need to honor the 9 completion, endings, and return, okay? We need to walk with the mystic, the watcher, and the wise, okay? We need to trust the 5, which is the freedom, the movement, and the transformation, okay? And we need to understand that we are rising with the earth. We are speaking with the wind. We are burning with sacred fire, and we are flowing like divine water. Okay? Now, my final note. This is a time of remembrance, reckoning, and reclaiming. So we need to stay spiritually alert, my people. Your ancestors are not resting right now. They're rising through you. Okay? So you need to prepare your body and your spirit right now, because this shift is not coming. It's already here. Okay? Now, I've been trying to prepare my people for this for a while, and we are here. We have finally made it to this point where it's about to get real out here in these streets, and the earlier that we are aware of that, the easier it is. And there's probably going to be a lot of people like, damn, she raw, she rugged, she's saying go get your gat, get your protection. You'll find out why I said it in time to come. Okay? So without that, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and leave us with the spiritual message of the day, okay? Speak what must be born. Act on what you've long delayed. The door is cracked. Walk through it with courage, not hesitation, okay? Today, day numerology 1 is a portal of ignition. Especially giving you the keys to the ignition, okay? Especially powerful, you know, for me as a life path 7, this is divine, because the 1 energy invites divine alignment through action that is guided by spirit, okay? Now, I definitely think that my calling right now is to tune it in with the Ghetto Nun deck. I am going to ask what type of energy or signs and synchronicities that we need to pay attention to right now with regards to this astrological shift, this energy that is playing out on earth and within us. What do we need to know, Spirit? And I'm going to ask for 3 messages: mind, body, soul. Okay? So Spirit guides, guardian angels, please provide the collective with 3 powerful messages to continue to expound on the return of the ancestors, the astrological shifts, okay, the power shifts, and what we need to know with Neptune in Aries and Saturn entering Aries, and then Uranus entering Gemini soon. What do we need to know, Spirit? 3 sacred messages. Okay, we got Pretty Woman. Okay, Pretty Woman is saying high vibes, rags to riches, sing, good-hearted, natural beauty, breaking toxic behavior, live, shop, and laugh. Okay, message, whatever message you get, whatever intuitive hit that you get off that, take that. Okay, next thing you know, we have NWA. Oh my gosh. When spirit speaks, okay? All I just heard is F them, NWA, okay? This is what we need to know. Urban America, ruthless, tour, rap music, controversy, parental discretion, F the police, express yourself, challenges, and profanity. Yep, definitely the energy. What else, spirit? And Beyonce, and that is about the Miss Stamina. I think she's Aries rising, if I'm not mistaken. Crowned, twins, beauty, blue, halo, honey, exclusive, fierce, Sasha Fierce, household name, exclusive, Queen Bee, babies, the hive. Yes, the rise of the divine feminine, the womb, and then let's just say this. If we don't know it's getting real, the Georgia woman that they haven't kept alive because she's pregnant, she was declared dead 3 months ago. She's on life support. The machines are keeping her alive because she's pregnant. Okay, and the family wants her to be relieved of this so they can go ahead and bury her with, grace. But the hospitals are refusing. The control has began. So let's go back to 2020 and just think about how they treated us, what kind of control they had over us. That was a test run, right? It's really about to kick off. And then at the bottom of the deck, poetic justice. Love is a juice, opposites attract, grew up too fast, trauma, male, hurt and pain, toxic friends, family reunion, road trip. Poetic justice. Okay. Well, Spirit spoke today. So without that, I'm happy that you always supporting me. I appreciate you. I'm going to go ahead and get this message uploaded to the sources that need to be. And until I tap back in the next few days so we can talk about this new moon in Gemini and the energy that it's bringing. Okay, so with that said, if you need me for any astrological, numerological, tarot, anything that you need, I am here. Okay, I am here. Now with that said, y'all have a good one. Love and light, as above so below, as within so without. Ashe. Deuce.